Hey everybody, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Career Mode with REinstein. How are you doing? Today, what I want to do is explore the possibility of building tiny little rockets. I'm not quite sure what the aim is. Sometimes I want to build like a UFO. Like if you check one of my earlier videos, I built like a cool spider UFO. Had like 8 legs and was kind of like the idea of a UFO. I like the idea of being able to make something hover in the air. So I'm going to go ahead and start constructing one. Hopefully you'll enjoy this and maybe learn something, or maybe this is what interests you too. My favorite thing is seeing how small you can build stuff and the efficiency of it and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and place this little strut here like so. And then what I'm going to do is grab some of these tiny little Oscar B fuel tanks, put them around the side, and then coupled with that, the little spark liquid fuel engine. If I add that, check out the delta V and thrust to weight ratio of that. 5.21 thrust to weight ratio. That's absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's kind of cool. The next thing I want to try is, we're definitely going to need a battery here. So if we add a little battery on top, oh, not 4 of them. Let's just whack that on top. Oh, grab that, it's a bit finicky. There we go. So it's still got a thrust to weight ratio of 5.18. Then if we add maybe some solar panels, let's add 4 of these, put them on the side like so, and that will give us energy regeneration. Then I just want to see like how good it is. Actually, no, the solar panels I'm going to put there. Then what I want to kind of do is add some tiny little engines around the side. So if I put these ones on there, turn them sideways, and see how far that'll get us. Look at that. I mean, that's 5.37 delta weight thrust to weight ratio. Let's go ahead and test this bad boy. All right, cool. Let's get crazy. Let's see how tiny this thing is. Look at it. So if I press space now, look at that. That is awesome. Tiny little rocket. Now if I just slow it down a little bit, still gaining height, and it's kind of cool, look, because these little things spin it round, so it's kind of like a UFO. I like it. And you can tilt it sideways. Look at the control on that thing. That's awesome. That's kind of, maybe you can form the basis of some sort of I don't know, some sort of satellite eventually. That is pretty amazing. Now if I just increase our speed just a tad, we can try and land this bad boy. If I can land this, that'd be epic. I'm pretty sure we can. Just need to slow our descent down, turn it right off, get a bit closer to the ground, and there we go. Look at that. Oh, now we're taking off again. There we go. Just grab it ever so slightly, and we're able to land. That is amazing. I really like that. It's pretty neat. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do some more tinkering. Alright, so what I want to do is, if we take these little engines off here, then go back to structural, get some more of these little tiny cube things, and put them around the outside. I want to see how fast we can make this spin. That'll be awesome. Alright, grab some more, stack them on the side. That kind of looks straight, right? I think we'll have one more for good measure. Why not? Now this obviously is just me being creative. It's not going to form the basis of anything other than me just having fun. But the original thing we tested could definitely form the basis of some sort of satellite. So if we place these on the side, look at that. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's go test this. Okay, ready? Turn on SAS, turn on the thrust, and away we go! Look at that! Epicness! I love testing out the thrust to weight ratio on this game. That's amazing! Look, we can turn it sideways. It's got really good control on it. Oh, now it doesn't. Now it doesn't. Now gravity says, screw you! We're going down to the ground! Ah! Wow, it's completely out of control. Look at that! That is neat, and we're out of fuel now. It's just gonna crash basically, but that's pretty darn sweet. Next up, what I want to play around with is how small a rocket needs to be. Ha! Paused it just as we explode. How small a rocket can be in order to get into space. You know, and orbit, let's say, Kerbin. Let's set that as our objective. So if we go to new, I'll make it unmanned again. So I use the Probodabine. I like the Octo. It's definitely going to need some solar panels. So we'll whack those. We'll have 4 of those, I think, on the side. Doesn't look particularly fancy yet, but it's going to. Now, I'm going to need a tiny little engine. Tiny little thruster. Not engine, fuel tank, I mean. So that on its own has a delta V of 1,756 and a thrust to weight ratio of 4.12. That is ridiculous. What happens if I get rid of that one and put, I don't know, what's this? This is RCS. If we use that fuel tank, it still has a thrust to weight ratio of 2.34. What the fudge? That's so cool. So then, which one shall we use? Let's just put a decoupler on there. And then I guess we're going to need some sort of adapter. We don't necessarily have to, but it kind of makes it look cool. And then try for that fuel tank. Now, if you've ever tried to use one of these liquid fuel engine Terriers here, it doesn't seem to have enough thrust to lift it off. So I'm going to go with this LVT30. So that's 4,088 delta V. Look at the thrust to weight ratio, 6.79. So if we add just a slightly bigger fuel tank to that, and then build it like so, 4,807 delta V. All right, so we're gonna obviously need a battery here, but I might take this for a spin and see how far we can get with it. So let's whack that there. 4,737. So potentially you should be able to achieve orbit with this. Let's test it out. It's not got anything fancy on it, but it's got enough for us to say, hey, I think we could easily build a low-cost satellite that gets into orbit of Kerbin here. Ready? All right, let's increase our thrust a little bit. Turn on SAS. So that's got really high acceleration. So if I turn it up to max, look at that. That goes so fast and it's really stable. I can tilt it. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, dear. Whoa. Okay. But it just goes to show what is, you know, what can be built out of these tiny little parts. I'm going to try and launch it again. Yeah. I wonder how much this thing costs. Probably a tiny amount. I didn't check that. We'll have to have a look at that afterwards. So let's just leave it burning at full speed and see how far this will get us. Okay, because it doesn't have any control mechanism, so it just tilts over. Wow, and then it rights itself. Then it goes dipping down again. That's still pretty neat. Alright, let's go back to assembly. So I'm just thinking, like, if you wanted to get to the moon, you could do it so cheaply. That's 3,660. So, alright, we've agreed that one doesn't really work. So if we put a little inline reaction wheel on there, like so, supposedly that should work. Let's test it now. Okay, so turn up the thrust and away we go. So supposedly this little reaction wheel should keep it straight. I'm also wondering if it shouldn't have some like winglets or something like that there. Yeah, because then it starts tilting over. I guess maybe because we're going too fast. That's not good. Alright, let's go and post some winglets on it and see what difference that makes. I'm really curious to see how small you can, and cheaply, you can build a rocket that will actually get you into orbit. So what kind of winglet should we use? This one? No, I don't like that one. Let's use 4 of these. See, look at that. And that comes in at 6,820. I really hope this works. I think probably the problem could be this fuel tank here. So if we change that and put in this little one. Now what is our delta V? 3,226. So not great. Let's add another little tiny one. And now we've got 3,967. So possibly we can get into orbit with that. Let's try it. Okay, launch pad. We are ready to go. I think maybe we were going too fast as well before. Alright, yeah, so these winglets give us a little bit of control now. I wonder if it's enough. So we'll slow down just a tad. I'll speed up the game engine. And see how high we can get with this. That is so cheap. That's less than 10,000 Kerbal credits. Which, God knows what that would mean in real life, but... I mean, look at it. If you saw the launch the other day of the rocket that's going to Mars, I think it's going to search for alien life. Like, this thing's so much smaller. I imagine that one on the TV was like, I don't know, 20 times bigger. Anyway, this will give me an opportunity to show Omar my little gravity turn that I've been practicing. So let's go for it. So this, around 15,000, we're tilting nicely. There we go. That's quite a good gravity turn, I think you'll agree, and it's good control added by these winglets. Now, I haven't had to use any of this tech really in my career mode so far, but I did think it would be rather interesting to explore it. As I said, I've done it in a lot of older videos, so go have a look through my playlists if you want and see what you can find. But look at this, our apoapsis is now nearly 60,000 meters and we've got plenty of fuel left. I'm definitely going to try and make it to orbit. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. I can do this. Slow down just a little bit. Whoa, that tilts fast. There we go, 73,000 meters. So if we speed it up again, I think I'm being inefficient here. Omar's probably like, damn it, REinstein, you're failing. But I think you need, what, 2,200 meters per second to get orbit. And we're nearly there. Delta V left, 900. So let's check how we're doing around the circumference of Kerbin. Here we go. Look at that. Nearly there. Can we do it? 400 meters per second left, Delta V. Oh, it's so close. So close, look. Oh, we made it-ish. 77,000 apoapsis and 41,000 periapsis. Yeah. Well, I think if I'd have done the burn a little bit better, that would probably be possible to do that. Oh, at this stage as well, I can show you my little Kerblab. Cannot switch vessels while in atmosphere. That sucks. Anyway, that's basically my space station that I built, and I renamed it in accordance with what me and Omar have been discussing. It is now called Kerblab. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. Just having a little look at what is possible with such low costs. If you had this stuff available from the beginning of the game, it'd be amazing. But there we are. That can get to orbit. I haven't quite proved it, but even if we just had to add one more fuel tank, let's just take a look. One more little fuel tank like this. Yeah, 4,444 Delta V. Easily enough to get into orbit. Alright, that is my first video exploring thrust to weight ratio and the smallness of rockets. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe you've learned something. Click the like button if you have, and I will see you on the next video in a couple of days. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.